On stage, and I need all of you to please stand as he is making his way onto a LifeVantage stage, which is probably the last time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce to you your LifeVantage CEO. Make some noise for the one and only Steve Fife!
So before I start, I've got 3 bones to pick. Right? First is, did you notice how when Kelly came out, Jake pushed me next to him so that I would look smaller, I think. I don't know. I think he was a little concerned about standing right next to Kelly. Second, about a year ago, Diana and I attended an outside concert with a comedian named Brian Regan. Anyone heard of Brian Regan? And it was in March, and perhaps the coldest I've ever been until today. And when Brian came out on stage, there were 2 warm-up people, comedians at this concert, and the first guy came out and he was on the long sleeve shirt. I think he had a vest on, did his bit, and then the next comedian came out and he had a jacket on, and then Brian Regan came out and he had leather gloves, a hoodie, and a leather jacket on as well. And about 20 minutes into his bit, he looked up and there were 2 monitors just like this at this arena. And he looked up and he kind of looked at himself. He said, "Man, that guy looks really cold." It's the only thing I remember from the show. But it was the show was very funny, but I'll never forget that. And the third is I took a little bit of grief yesterday for wearing jeans. I don't know if any of you sensed that. So this morning I get up and I said, well, I'm not doing jeans again. So I put it in my comfort zone, right? Got a suit on, a tie on, and I come downstairs and Tyler comes up to me and says, shoot, I'm presenting today. I need a tie. So I give him my tie so that he can look legitimate and respectable. And you would think he would give it back to me, right? Wouldn't you think that?
That's so funny.
Wow. The love that I feel right now. So, what a privilege it's been to be your CEO for the last several years. All right. I am so grateful for the time that I've had at LifeVantage, for the opportunity to serve you, to be with you, to form friendships with you. Over the past 9 years, I've had the opportunity to see the business from a lot of different angles. And I'll tell you, I am so proud of what we have accomplished together. We have doubled down on network marketing. We've developed a world-class compensation plan, which lets you really choose how you want to earn money. We've built incredible products, and we've built a system designed to support both customers and consultants. Now, just for a moment, I'm going to channel my inner Yogi Berra. Probably not a lot of people know who Yogi Berra is. A few nods.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who Yogi Berra is, he was a 18-time All-Star catcher with the New York Yankees. Back in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, 18 times an All-Star. And he was known for his baseball skills, obviously, but also some very quirky quotes. And he said, as you move forward, what matters most is what comes next. Did you get that? What's most important is you move forward. What matters most is what comes next. So I want to ask you, what comes next for you? What comes next for your business? Isn't that why you're all here today, is to figure out how to grow your business? You have been trained the last couple of days and edified, recognized with some of the top leaders in this industry. And I'll tell you, everything that they have said has been on point. I highly support it. Now, I believe what drives growth, and you've heard this intertwined throughout all of the discussions that we've had, but what drives growth in this business is having more voices. More voices to spread the message of activation and our business opportunity. More voices telling their story, more voices telling the company's story, and more voices telling how to earn an income. Now, is it time for a sports story? Maybe one last sports story. How many of you have heard of the book or the movie Moneyball? Just about everyone. One of my favorite movies at all time because it mixes my two love languages, sports and analytics. And if you recall from that movie, the movie is about a story about the Oakland A's back in the early 2000s. Their general manager, Billy Beane, took over after the 1997 season and quickly turned to data and analytics to figure out how he could improve the team and think of it differently than what traditional scouting was. At the time, the New York Yankees were in the middle of a three-peat as world champions. And Kelly, that's a shout out to you. That's two Yankee references. Kelly is a big Yankee fan. So they were in the middle of this three-peat and spending an obscene amount of money. There was no, they spent more than any other team. And Billy Beane realized there was no way that Oakland could compete with them from a dollar standpoint. They had to think differently. So after losing their three biggest stars to free agency in 2001, 2002 became really pivotal. They had to do something different. So they flipped conventional thinking about baseball on its head and started asking what actually leads to winning. So they looked at the analytics, and what it came back with was something that was quite different. It wasn't home runs, it wasn't RBIs, it wasn't even pitching. What they realized was to win more games, you needed more people on base. More people on base meant more opportunities to score runs. So that epiphany really changed their whole strategy in terms of players that they selected in the draft, players that they selected in free agency. They started looking exclusively at players who could get on base, regardless of how they got on base. And what that meant was it changed significantly the people those traditional candidates in free agency. People that might have been injured, kind of outcasts from other teams, they took the strays as long as they could get on base. And each player had to have that skill. And then they were filled in around that skill. They had to get on base. So did it work for them? Well, that's following season in 2002, it's hard to go back in time. In 2002, they won 102 games, including a 20-game win streak that was really unheard of in baseball. So looking at a very simple metric that hadn't been looked at before by any other team really propelled them into a winning franchise for a number of years. And it was that simplicity and focus that caused that to happen. So what's our version of getting on base? I've already said it, it's getting more voices. Get more people sharing the story, get more people enrolled, get more people engaged in what we're doing. Now the current job market is really similar to pre-pandemic levels. There are 42% of college graduates today that are working in fields that they did not go to school for. Do you think they have dreams that aren't being met? All of you are in this room have dreams. Why not accomplishing those dreams through activation and what we have to offer? But to do that, we have to do it right. We have to tell the whole story. First, lead with the story. Lead with your story. It's the most personal and impactful thing. Jake shared with you yesterday my beginning story. At age 5, I aspired to be the CEO at LifeVantage. It took me 61 years to accomplish that dream, but I finally did. Second is to share the company's story. We believe so strongly in activation that an entire company was built around it. Like Wendy and Lisa said yesterday, it all started with Protandem NRF2. Stack it with other powerful activators and share the message. And third, share how people can earn an income. Our job is not to decide what part of the story resonates with people. Our job is to listen and to direct them where the business makes sense for them in their lives. Let me repeat that. Our job is not to decide what part of the story resonates with people. Our job is to listen and direct them where this business makes sense in their lives. When you tell a whole story, you create options for more people. And more options mean people saying yes. Adding more people means we add more voices. We're getting more people on base. The next phase of LifeVantage is yours. Remember Yogi. As you move forward, then what matters most is what comes next. What comes next for you? What will you do to break through this year? How many of you enjoyed the keynote speaker yesterday, Brian? Was that amazing? There were a few little micro moments in that his, hour and a half or so that really, I think, will forever stick with me. The first is when he was, going through and towards the end where he was demonstrating how to hold a block, and he said several times, "No, I'm not going to break this block or board." It's been 37 years, 36 years since he had broken a board on stage. And then I saw this group of 20 people coming up, right, all holding their boards. And my mind, probably like yours, went immediately to all of those people, knowing that one of them was going to be chosen to actually demonstrate how to do this. And as he said that, and he looked around, you could kind of see everyone going. And he stopped at Sherry. Sherry, where are you? Right over there. I saw Sherry last night. You can sit down. I saw Sherry last night after the event, and I said, so how did that feel to have that experience? And she said, and I'll clean up the language a little bit. Sorry, Sherry. I can't say it from stage. But she said, I just had this feeling he was going to call on me, and I was just shaking, and I kept my head down and would kind of look up, and I felt really good when he walked over there, and then he started walking towards me, and then he stopped. But, she said she was scared. She didn't know if she could do it. But she looked into his eyes. She had listened and looked into his eyes. And the exuberance, and even sharing it with me, 4 hours later, the excitement of accomplishment that she experienced when she did that was amazing. Life-changing for you, Sherry, right? Amazing what you can do when you go beyond what you think you can do. The second experience, little moment, is I was standing over here with a group of 8 people, and the psychology around not having one person come up and break a board and another person just individually doing this, but to get in that group of 8 so that there was a support group. There was a group to champion, to get excited, to reinforce. And I was the second or third person to do it, and I was able to break the board. And there was one of you, I didn't catch your name, so I apologize. Where? Who? Cheryl. Cheryl, stand up just for a moment. Cheryl here was in our group. And Cheryl got up there, you can sit down. Cheryl got up there and she tried. And the first time, there was a little reluctance and probably some fear about what was going to happen. But she powered through, she tried, didn't do it. Tried again, didn't make it. Tried her third time and didn't make it. And the encouragement, I think, from the team got louder and louder each time she wasn't able to break through her board. So as Brian suggested, kind of step out and take a rest for a moment. The rest of the people went and did it. And Cheryl did not give up. She wanted to try again. And she came back in and tried her 4th time, her 5th time, and on her 6th time, she broke through. Cheryl, thank you for your persistence. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for being receptive and accepting the support for everyone that was there. And as much as Cheryl's accomplishment was, for her personally, I think all of us in that group of 8 also felt that feeling of pride and accomplishment for her. It's no different than when we have people come up and walk the stage when they're being recognized. I typically have a pretty good view of the faces and the excitement that they feel, but I also always take a moment and look at all of the people that have lined up with their cameras to take pictures of their team and how proud each of you are in someone else's accomplishments. That's what makes this business amazing. And then the third person. Is Maud here? Where's Maud? Stand up, Maud. There you go. So Maud, she you recognize her. Maud was the last person to break a board. She came up on stage. For people that did not, weren't able to do it in their groups, he had everyone come up, and Maud came up. Yesterday was Maud's 80th birthday. Maud, thank you thank you for coming here all the way from Oklahoma. Is that right? Do I have that right? Yeah. And for staying at it and still having the courage, even after you weren't able to do it in your little groups, to come up and show the rest of the company how committed you were to accomplishing that goal and achieving your own breakthrough. So thank you. So my parting thoughts, don't overcomplicate it. Tell the whole story to people so that more people can know what this incredible company is. Amplify your voices to give more people the opportunity to be part of it. I am so grateful for this opportunity that I've had to serve you. A heartfelt thank you to all of you that are here, and actually for all of the consultants and customers who have been part of this journey. You have forever changed my life. I cannot wait to see where you take your businesses and where LifeVantage ends up here. Thank you.
Oh, I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you.